All right, let's do this. Good afternoon, nation. Two dads in the lab trying to be 2% better. Keith Phillips. It's been a while since I've been here at noon with you guys, making some summer changes to the Live in the Lab schedule. Of course, I run the morning show here every morning, mornings in the lab over on the Mornings in the Lab channel. So we're running on both channels right now, the Two Dads in the Lab channel. I'm sorry, the Live in the Lab channel as well as the Mornings in the Lab channel. But listen, if you're looking for a great way to start your day, I invite you to check it out. Mornings in the Lab, 8 o'clock Eastern time. That's in the middle of the night for my friend, Di Manuel. Joining us from Vancouver, one of the other halves of the Two Dads in the Lab trying to be 2% better. Now, as y'all know, we have been absent for the last few weeks because our kids have been moving on in life, Di Manuel.
Oh, man, tell me about it. It's like, I keep waking up in the morning and think I'm going to lose all my hair, but it's there still. It's still there. So it's okay. But, man, it's crazy. I had a big graduation for my eldest daughter. She just graduated from university. So that's just been its own whirlwind of stuff. And then my youngest, she finished first year, but now we just found out she's going to Western next year. So Western is in Ontario, and so she's it's crazy, man. So there's just all these transitions happening all at the same time, and it's just been crazy. But you too, going through your own. What's been going on with you?
My kids have been active too, but Nation, we are going to talk today about the fullness of life and finding harmony when everything's going a million miles a minute. So if you're a dad, you're a mom. I'm going to suspect, Di Manuel, the last month for all of us has been somewhat hectic, especially as school's wrapping up. So, if your kids are young, you're like, oh, what do you mean, honey, Joe's not in camp next week? Well, I didn't put him in camp. No, so who's taking care of Lisa? It's that summertime when we're all scrambling, trying to fill everything up. The summer vacations, children graduating. Piper made her way through grade 8 this year, moving on to a new school. Carts finished grade 9 as honor roll gold student. Brookie graduated grade 3, going to grade 4, 5, or is it grade 2, going to 3, 4, whatever. But they're all growing up. And then so are yours, man. So you not only are your children moving on, but for you and Christy, things are also changing too, right? That's got to be next episode because you got so big stages, right? Because one of the kids graduated from university, no?
You bet. So she's living on her own over on the North Shore. So those are Vancouver. And we're downtown Vancouver, so she just lives across the water on the mountainside there, and which it's funny, but in Vancouver, if you got to go through tunnels or endure bridges, it's amazing how many excuses Vancouverites make out not to move anywhere. It's just the funniest thing. It's a weird culture thing here. But my youngest, she's just moved back in for the summer months, saving some money, and then she's off to Ontario. And it's just weird, man, being an empty nester, or as my wife says, an open nester, because we're an open nest, welcoming the flock back whenever they want to come back,
But really a whole new, in many ways, and we have to make it a topic for another show. I would love to sit down, actually, you and Christy, right? So you shared with me a few weeks ago, you're 46, and I'm sure 47, I'm sure, Christy's 29, 30, right? And we all love our wives, right? But you guys are going to that next stage as husband and wife too, in many ways, aren't you?
We're certainly trying to navigate that now, because it is different when everything's been about the kids. And to be fair, Keith, we've also recognized that in our relationship, we've always had these sort of non-negotiable times for ourselves, like for her and I together. And we've been like that for a long time, where we, like, every Saturday night, we know from 5 p.m. onward, it's our time together.
Nice. Yes.
And so that's helped a lot with us staying connected, even though during the week things are crazy. We always know we have that little oasis that we get to look forward to connecting.
Yeah.
And so that's been really instrumental. And I think just maintaining the integrity of our relationship over all these years. But now we're at a place where we have all this extra space again. And so it's just getting back to dating and trying to rediscover one another, but at the same time, trying to navigate all these changes as we age. Our bodies are changing, it's like, just a lot of stuff, man. But such is life.
You said bodies are aging, man. So I hit the magical number 52 this year. And I remember a friend of mine said, thank you. I remember a friend said to me, he's like, yeah, Keith, you passed 50. He's like, you actually noticed the change from 51 to 52. And dude, I'm gonna bemoan for a moment here, but like I feel the lack of muscle mass. I feel my body just eating its mass away. I feel like I have a piece of chocolate that just sits on my waist, and I'm sounding like an 18-year-old little child right now. But I'm just telling you, as an aging male, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what happens. That's so, the kids moving on, us aging, these new phases, and this last month being hectic as hell for all of us. It's finding that joy in all the madness, right?
You're right, because you know what's going to happen, Keith? A month from now, things will calm down a little bit.
Yes.
You're like, gosh, I'm missing the madness. You know what I mean? Like it's just that moment, right? That bringing ourselves to be fully present to every significant milestone in our lives. And this is a big milestone summer for us, bottom line. And it's weird, right? Because at times I would find myself just being distracted by, anxiety about what's going on in business. And, oh my goodness, I got these other external commitments, or there's these events coming up. Like it's amazing how we can just overwhelm ourselves.
Yes.
But when I take a second just to say, okay, stop that. Just stop. What really matters? Like really, at the end of the day, if I finish this summer and I reflect back come November and I'm thinking, man, what do I remember about the summer? I want to remember all the good stuff and the good times I had with connecting with my family and friends, community.
Yes.
I don't want to remember about all the anxiety and stress and all that other crap, because you know what? It comes and goes.
Well, it's going to be there. It's always going to be there, right? And it's funny because we don't choose that, do we, Di? It just creeps up on us. It's unfortunate how we as humans have to choose the happiness. We have to choose to have that awareness to go, okay, I'm not going to stress about this moment right now. I'm going to choose to be present, because if we don't choose it, the lack of presence quickly gets taken over by our cortisol levels, become stressed out, and all of a sudden we're lost in the moment.
Very true. And as we age, I think it becomes much more. We have to become more aware or better at managing some of that overwhelm, because I'll tell you, when we're younger, we can just put our head down and just charge through it.
Yes.
I remember the 20-hour work days. I really do remember those, especially when I was scaling my first company, like it was just, I was common, an 80-hour work week. Wow, that was a light week. You know what I mean? And you would do it, you repeat it, and you do it again. And I'd get to the gym, I'd go out with the guys. Like, it was just like life was on, 100 miles an hour. Now I'm like, I don't have that capacity anymore. And to be honest, I don't want to do that anymore.
What's interesting? What's interesting to hear your comment is that I'm putting in the 20-hour days these days, and I'm admittedly loving every second of it. I'm putting the 18-hour, 20-hour days. I'm putting in the 100-hour week because I'm building the business, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Do I enjoy being tired? No, because I feel like I'm living, right? And I guess when I sold the first business and I worked in the corporate world, it was a different pace. And in many ways, I would say maybe I was don't want to use the word tired, but maybe I was just I was professional fitness guy for a while, Di. So now I'm like, all right, I guess I can work for a little bit. I guess I can put in the 12-hour days. But hey, you said something, and I don't want to lose thought of this, because for the last forever, September has been really important to me because my kids were always going back to school.
Right. Yeah.
This September is going to be different for you and Christy, because only one is going back to school. Does it, like, when you think about the feelings of it, and we're talking about being present in the moment right now, do you feel a little bit of anxiety thinking about September, or you're just really present in the moment right now, Di?
If I'm perfectly honest, there's those moments where I do get really stressed and anxious, just thinking about all the T's to cross and the I's to dot. I mean, we can't help it. Let's be fair. Everyone deals with that, right? Like, we're always thinking about what's coming next and what do I have to do to get ready for that? What happens if things don't go wrong? Like, I mean, it's just the over anxious part of our brain. And I work really hard to deal with that. I'm open about my anxiety. I've dealt with social anxiety most of my life, and it's hard. At times it's crippling.
Yes.
But
yes.
I want to be a victim of it, like I want to learn how to move through it. And so there's been a lot of years of work to get to that place. But here's the thing. It's a constant battle. And I think everybody deals with this because life is full. We got a lot of stuff going on all the time. If you're living a life and it's not full, my question is, why not?
Yes.
Like, because it is full. Everything that you do every day, it's filling that day with experiences. But if you're not fulfilled with the experiences, you got to ask yourself, well, why not? What's going on? What needs to change? And
yes.
I've got some boys joining me now. So the Troy and Sophie that own the gym here.
Nice.
I'm going to show you the boys.
What's
hey,
up?
What's
There's Troy and Sophie. That's awesome, man. What are those? What are they?
I'm so bad with breeds, but I don't know. But they're hyperallergenic because normally like dogs can aggravate me, but they're like hypoallergenic and they're the most well-mannered dogs. Like they're so good.
Two dads in the lab with some labradoodles here with Keith and Di Manuel here. It's labradoodle, eh? I think the labradoodle. Yeah, when you said when you said hyperallergenic, my Caesar Milan when it came in me like, oh yeah, that's a labradoodle, Di Manuel.
I'm glad you knew that. But Keith, what about you? Like when you find yourself in those states of feeling overwhelmed and just the brain gets really busy, like is there any things that you sort of default to sort of bring you back to the present moment?
Yeah. I'm glad you asked because it happened actually, what's today, Friday? Wednesday or Thursday this week. I found myself becoming extremely unproductive. First sign of burnout. Right?
Yep.
I went for a nap. I stepped away and I went and laid down middle of the day. I was like, no, you know what? It's 1 o'clock right now. I got 10 hours ahead of me yet or 9 hours ahead of me. Right? I'm like, I can either try to battle through these 8 or 9 hours, like the endurance athlete that I think that I am, and I pride myself in, right? Because I think that endurance athletes are, to me, that's the business athlete grinding through things, Gogginsing things, right? But I was like, no, I can't grind this one out. I need to go lay down. So I stepped away. I shut everything down. I just stepped away, and I know that sounds really cliche and simple, but when as a creator, I get so much. Because often I do the opposite, frankly. As a creator, I almost dig deeper. I'm like, so I use like the analogy of maybe like a musician. I go into the studio and work even harder. But I'm finding as I'm getting older, maybe it's just an age thing, it's working against me. So I'm like, no, I'm going to have a lay down, and I'm not going to be ashamed of it. I'm not going to lay here at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and be embarrassed about it. Right? It's funny because we as humans, right? We get so caught up in, I got to go meet with my lawyer, or I got to go to a dentist, or I got a meeting with Di. But yet, when it's like, okay, well, I'm going to go schedule an hour for myself, and I'm going to go to sleep for that hour at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. People will be like, what? Yeah. You're going to go have a nap at 2 o'clock when you're supposed to be working, Di? It's bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what? It's the idea of working smarter, not harder, right?
Yes.
We all have different energy flows and energy patterns, and listen, I know we can check all the boxes and all the healthy things that we ought to be doing.
Yes.
Like working out, getting proper quality sleep, eating the right foods. Yes. I mean, it is nauseating at times. I will fully admit this because I think we all are at the point where it's like, don't tell me that anymore. I already know what to do. But we find ourselves not doing it. And I think it's honestly just like what you said. It's understanding pacing. Well, right. And I had to adapt and adjust for my pacing because it sounds like, you're getting back into this working 20 hours a day, man. I commend you, but I know myself where I'm at right now. That pacing would be really hard for me to maintain. Yeah. I know I'd crash and burn, dude.
Yes. Yes. Well, part of it is I've chosen to do this morning show, which I'm like, okay, so that's wonderful. I guess I forgot the part of the morning show that I got to get up early, which is either 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. So that's that part that I'm like, oh, right. Okay. Because I got to entertain people. I need to be awake for a little bit. So that's been an adjustment, but I will tell you something that I have done that I think is making me better as well is, again, yesterday I would have went to the gym and gone for a lift or gone for or did an extra longer run or an extra ride on the bike. No, I'm actually, as an old man, I'm going to go have some extra rest. I'm actually going to go I'm going to go try to get that extra hour of sleep instead of the extra hour in the gym. So I'm truthfully being mindful of making some pivots to saying, okay, I'm going to covet more rest instead of coveting more time in the gym, which is what I honestly thought in the past would have naturally always, frankly, have done.
Wow. That's a big shift, man. And and here's the interesting thing. I know all of us are searching for the objective truth, right? We're like, hey,
yes.
just tell me what's true for all of us, right? And it's like we're looking for the magic bullet, right? Or magic pill. Just tell me what I got, and everything will be okay.
Yes.
It doesn't exist, everybody. And everybody's slightly different. So as much as we treat a lot of the information we read online or we hear online as being dogmatic, like that must be the truth. That person, they got lots of followers. They seem to know what they're talking about. They must be an authority. I guess I should do their list of 10 things every morning if I want my life to be better. I'm like, you're not doing any of those things right now. So you think by starting by doing 10 things every morning is going to be manageable and doable? And you honestly feel you're going to be able to maintain that? And I already know the answer because I've done this myself, right? Where I get so beat up and frustrated, like, oh, I feel overwhelmed. And it's like, well, why not adapt what that good information is, but to where I'm at in life right now?
Yes.
Start small. Like how do you eat an elephant, Keith?
Yes. Well, you start with one toe.
That's right. Like, just start small, guys. 2%, right? Like, you don't have to change everything today, but do one thing well. One thing well.
It's interesting to hear you say that because the way we started our conversation, I was belly aching about, aging and losing muscle mass and, not eating enough. And literally before our meeting, I was grabbing a shower going, oh, I gotta get my protein into me today 3 times a day. Oh, I gotta get this. And I gotta get back to some new routines on Monday. And I'm starting to because I'm looking at myself in the mirror, I'm beating myself up and I'm falling back to my old self. And I'm like, hold on, slow down, Billis. Just chill out. Just chill out, man. You're 52 years old. Get some rest.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
It's, again, adapting. Like I believe in sprints now. So I can do like a good 1 hour to 90-minute sprint where I get a ton of stuff done. I'm hyper focused. But then I'm going to give myself 30 to 45 minutes to just get up, move a bit, get some hydration, maybe a little snack. Or it's summertime right now, people.
Yes.
I get out for a quick 30 minutes in the sun and I go for a brisk walk. And I'll come back and I'll do another sprint. And I might get 3 to 4 sprints in a day, which, those add up. That's a good quality 6 hours. I get more done in those 6 hours than I would typically do in 10.
Yeah.
And so that's how I found I work much better now. And sometimes I might do an extra sprint or 2. If I'm feeling really in the zone and it's just everything's firing, of course I'm going to keep working. If I'm feeling creative, the juices are flowing, I'm going, man. I'm going to town.
Yes.
I give myself permission that if I'm not in the right space, like you, Keith, and I think it's a wonderful example today, you've recognized I'm giving myself permission to give myself what I actually need right now.
Yes.
And I need it right now, It's like, that's great. That's great.
Yes. Oh, I'm using my pulpit to talk more about that because we as humans don't talk enough about it because we always judge those that are taking, listen, so we had a big conversation mornings a number of weeks back about hustle culture. And I'm the first person to say, you got to show up and you got to get to work. But I'm also the first person to say, you got to take care of yourself. And if taking care of yourself means you got to go for a nap after you go for a sprint, then go for a nap and don't feel guilty about it. Because I love the lawyer example, Di, because we as humans put the lawyers on the highest pillar, right? Oh, I got to meet with my lawyer, Di. He's charging me $500 an hour. I can't take it. We yell at our children, we yell at our spouses because I'm going to meet my lawyer and he's charging me $500 an hour or whatever the price point is. Yet, hey, Di, go take an hour for yourself. Well, why would I do that?
That is such a great point. It's a great point.
We do it though. We all do it. So, man, so it's been a couple weeks since we've caught up. We get the summer months, coming in front of us here. So I'm putting Live on the Lab on hiatus for the summer months as we regroup for the fall launch. And I know we have Don Stinson that knocked on our door. He's a dad out of, I think, Australia. I don't know what is with Australia. I got Michael Ahad joined us from Australia a couple weeks ago. You had an appointment there. Michael joined us on the show a couple weeks back. We had a great chat with Michael. I got a gentleman joining me from the future, New Zealand. Enzo joining me every single morning from New Zealand. I got a guy named Garrett joining me Monday from Australia, and then we got another guy who wants to join us. I think 1 or 2 weeks from now on a Friday. So I guess what I'm saying, Nation, is that as we go through the summer weeks here, be patient with Keith and Di. Well, we may be a little bit irregular scheduled and move some things around here as the summer weeks go, but. I would like to think, Di, that my little bit of advice for people listening right now, because I know people do listen to us, especially over in Afghanistan and parts of the Middle East over there, is that, as you're going a million miles in life, I think you said it best, right? Have that awareness of what's happening and don't be afraid to go against it. And if you need a nap or you need to pause, you need a break, do it. Right. And find what works best for you, because there is no magic bullets unless you're on Ozempic, but there is no magic bullet.
Don't get me started on Ozempic. I don't know.
Well, dude, it's been a part of the morning show conversation for the last couple of weeks. Marty and I were talking about it, and it's been so maybe you got to join our morning show conversation in a couple of weeks.
I got to get on there. Yeah, you let me know. We'll make it happen. I'll just make sure it's a morning where I don't have to get to the gym early. And
yes.
I would love to join you guys. And I was just thinking about Australia, and you know what? It is winter in Australia right now. So they're like bored. They're like, I can't go outside and play, so I want to get on the morning show.
That's it. So, Di, what kind of words of wisdom do you want to leave for Two Dads Nation as we say goodbye for the week?
You know what? It's going to be a beautiful weekend, no matter what the weather, because the weather doesn't determine the beauty of the weekend. You do. So go and enjoy it and make something beautiful happen. Enjoy the experiences. Collect those, because those are the only things that matter at the end of the day. You can go buy a nice new little water bottle, but at the end of the day, it's just a water bottle. It's going to get thrown out eventually. But that beautiful experience you have with your family, man, you can take that to the grave. So go make some memories.
That's it. Go make some memories this weekend with your children, with your wife. Go make some memories. Keith and Di, two dads in a lab, trying to be 2% better. We look forward to chatting with you guys. We're back next week, and just follow the schedule here. You can follow Keith and Di on LinkedIn, Instagram. We're all over the place. But I'm not going anywhere, and neither is this young man. Our schedules might be a little bit irregular for the next few weeks, but we're not going anywhere. So you guys have a good one. See you soon. Di, hang tight. I'm going to talk to you for a couple seconds. See you guys. Ciao.
See y'all.